everybody, welcome back to the Cupcake Jemma channel with me, Sally, and Sam, who is on the camera as per usual. Now, exciting news, yesterday was Sam's birthday, but even more exciting news is that today is my birthday! Hooray for us! So I think today we should be making something that both Sam and I really want to eat. So I asked Sam, hey, what do you want us to make on your birthday? And he requested a sprinkle sponge pink ice cream cake, which does sound totally awesome, and I really want to make it. And if you want us to make it, then I'm going to put a comment down below. Give it a thumbs up, and I will endeavor to come up with this amazing sprinkle sponge ice cream cake. But I said, I don't actually have time for that. Give me something easier. So we decided a tiramisu. It is a classic Italian dessert, which is layers of sponge fingers, which have been soaked in coffee and liqueur, and then it's got a filling of this amazing mascarpone cream, and it is so indulgent. We're going to top it off with cocoa powder, so you've got a little bit of bitterness as well, and it is awesome. I totally love it. Also, it's really easy. You can make this the night before if you're going to serve it for a dinner party. Leave it in the fridge all day so you don't have to be freaking out about making a dessert. It is super. So let's crack on, and the first thing that we're going to do is make our mascarpone cream. So we're going to start with some eggs. Now, this recipe is going to use raw eggs, and I know that a lot of tiramisu recipes use double cream instead, but I checked with the Crumbs and Doilies Italian contingency, Francesca and Sarah, and they have told me no, it is no double cream. Get rid of that double cream. It is all about the eggs. So luckily here in the UK, we can eat raw eggs. But wherever you are in the world, you might just want to kind of check out what the rules and regulations are. And if you're a little bit nervous, then you can cook out your egg yolks and your sugar over a bain-marie to make them safe. But like I said, here in the UK, we have Lion brand eggs, so you're totally fine to go ahead and eat these raw. So we're going to separate 5 eggs. So we're going to have our egg yolks and our egg whites separate. Now, as you can see, I'm always splitting my eggs into a separate bowl because you really don't want to be getting any yolk into your whites. And once you have separated all your eggs, then it's time to grab our yolks. So we've got our 5 egg yolks here, and to that I'm going to be adding 90 grams of caster sugar. I've actually got golden caster sugar here just because it makes me feel a little bit fancy, but I don't know if it actually is fancy, but just regular caster or granulated sugar will be absolutely fine. So now we're going to whisk these up. I'm going to use my hand whisk here, but you can do this with a regular whisk, and we're going to keep whisking until it's very pale in colour and very thick. And as you can see, it is super kind of sticky and thick. Now we're going to mix this into some mascarpone. So I've got 500 grams of mascarpone cheese in here, which is a soft cheese, kind of like Philadelphia or cream cheese, but it's really quite different in taste. It's not as tangy. It's in fact very kind of creamy and smooth. So don't just sub this out for Philadelphia. You do want to be using a mascarpone in this. Now I'm going to mix in all of this egg mixture into our mascarpone, and we're going to use the whisk just to combine it. Alright, so next up we're going to whip up our egg whites, but like I said before, you don't want to get any fat in them, so I'm just going to quickly give my whizzers a clean. Right, so let's grab our egg whites, and we're going to start by whisking these up until they hold a soft peak, and then we're going to add some sugar. So now you can see what I mean by soft peaks, still kind of a little bit too floppy, nice and frothy. Now we're going to start adding some sugar. So I've got 30 grams of caster sugar. I'm just going to add it gradually, and this is just going to help these egg whites be nice and stable and firm for when we fold it through our mascarpone. Okay, so what we're looking for now is a stiff peak. So when we pull out our whizzers, we want it to hold a little peak. I'm just gonna whip a tiny little bit more. There we go, look in there. Can you see? Oh, and here. Hey! Okay, so now it is time to fold this into our mascarpone filling here. Now, because this is very light, this is quite heavy, we want to do it a little bit at a time. We're going to start with 1 spoonful. As you can see, I switched to my metal spoon as well, because this sharp edge is going to cut through it much easier than a wooden spoon. And we're just going to quite vigorously mix this first bit of egg white through, just to loosen it. And then we're going to add the rest in 2 bulks. So put the first half in, and very gently we're just going to fold it through. So if you haven't seen this before, what we're doing is cutting through the middle and scooping around the outside until it's all fully combined, which might take a little while, but just be patient. You don't want to whip out any of that air. Now just look at this fluffy, frothy filling. It is divine, and it is so light, much lighter than if we were using double cream. So now it is time to leave our cream filling to one side and get on with layering up our biscuits. So we're going to be using these sponge fingers, which you can just buy in pretty much any supermarket. They are called sponge fingers. I believe they're called lady fingers, and I don't really know why. My fingers don't know like this, but whatever. Lady fingers they're called. But we need to soak them because these are really very kind of dry and stiff, and we want them to be oozy and soaky and delicious. So we're going to be doing that with coffee, starting with 600 mils of coffee for this size dish that I'm using here. So we're going to be doing 2 layers in this glass dish. I'll give you a smaller option in the description box below as well. But in this little bowl here, I'm going to be putting 600 mils of coffee, if it all fits. I think it will. Yep, perfect. And this has cooled down, so I actually got Sam to do that before I got here this morning. And now we're going to add some booze. If you don't want to add booze, that is completely fine. Just do it with the coffee. It's still going to be delicious. Now, with the booze, generally I think you find recipes call for something like Madeira, or maybe even like rum or brandy, but the other week, I went round to my other Italian friend, Francesca, who also used to work for Crumbs and Doilies like many moons ago, and her boyfriend, Antonio, also Italian, made a tiramisu, and it was incredible. So I asked for their secret, and they told me, and it was this: vermouth, sweet vermouth. And I know that might sound like a bit crazy, but it was so delicious, trust me. And it's kind of, I guess it's quite botanical, which again might sound a little bit odd. Super great, awesome, delicious. Now to this amount, I'm going to be adding 3 full tablespoons of this sweet vermouth into our coffee. I'm just going to mix it in. And it is time to dunk our biscuits. Now these are going to soak up this liquid really, really quickly. So you don't want to drop it in, or you don't want to put loads of them in at once because they're just going to go to mush. We're going to take one, we're going to dip it in, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it starting to get soft and starting to swell. And then we're going to pop it into our dish, just like that. And then we're going to keep going until we've covered the whole of the bottom of our dish. So when you're doing this, you do want to try and make sure that you really squish them in so you do get almost a full layer of sponge at the bottom. And now it is time to put a layer of our cream. So I'm going to spoon out a few dollops. So you want to use half of your cream here, which might seem like a lot, but cream's the best bit. I'm still going. Get it in. And then we just want to smooth this out. So if you've got a palette knife, use the offset one. If not, just the back of the spoon will do. Once you've smoothed it out, we're going to do the exact same thing. So another full layer of our sponge soaked fingers and then more cream on top. All right, the good news, guys, is that the tiramisu is finished. But the bad news is that the tiramisu needs 24 hours in the fridge. I know. So we'll see you tomorrow. Kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. It definitely needs to go in the fridge for 24 hours, but I got one that we made yesterday. So we just need to finish this off, and you want to do this bit just before you serve it, and that is we're going to dust with some cocoa powder. So just pop a little bit of cocoa into a sieve. And to be honest, I literally love to drench the tiramisu with cocoa because I love the kind of bitterness that you get from it. So go crazy. I'm gonna stop. She's gonna stop. Now. And I'm gonna eat it. Okay, let's grab a nice big serving spoon. Hey Sam, how much do you want? Like this much? This much? I'll just give you a spoon. No, come on, let's cut. Now it's a very soft dessert. But that is the beauty of it. So this probably isn't going to look like the most delightful slice of cake. Oh, but it is. Oh! It's so light and fluffy and moist. Like, I know it looked like when you soak those sponge fingers it might be a little bit kind of dense, but it's the complete opposite. Can you see that finger there? Look how oozy and soaked that is. Oh, and the vermouth, honestly, it really just changes the flavor of it. Like, it's not like intensely coffee-y, it just makes it so much more fun. And the mascarpone filling, with the eggs, the yolks make it really, really rich. The mascarpone makes it creamy and soft, and those egg whites makes it super, super fluffy and airy. It really, really is like the ultimate dessert. I love it, so I'm pretty certain that you're gonna love this as well. And Sam loves it, hence why he chose it. Although he didn't actually choose it, his first choice was the ice cream sprinkle cake, which, remember, if you want me to give it a go, give my comment below a like, and I will do my very best because I've never actually made an ice cream cake before, but I'm ready for the challenge and I kind of want to do it. So we'll see you next week, maybe with that, but maybe with something else because it might take me a little bit of time. Remember to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell so that you get notifications every time we upload, and share this video with your friends and family so that they know to make it next time you go round for dinner. And we'll see you next week. But in the meantime, go over to Cindy Soho for a cupcake, a cookie, a brownie, a coffee, because the guys there would love to see you. Right, you ready, Sam? You're up.